And we are back. So, this is 20 Minute Metropolis. It doesn't appear that the game is actually locked up, even though it sort of looks frozen. The gist of this is it's a post-apocalyptic city builder. It's like SimCity, but really, really, really fast. I don't fully get... Oh boy, there's tutorials. Okay. Alright, let's get us loaded up.
From the apartments to the farm. Build a trail from the apartment.
Oh, wait, hold on. Transport trail. Oh boy. The game has locked up. That's not encouraging. Okay, I've completed the challenge. I don't know what that does, but okay. Conveyance and blocking.
Build trails to connect all 3 apartments to the farm.
Okay. Not sure what I'm supposed to learn from this. Fill all apartments with at least 3 food. Oh, I see. So it's... okay. Alright. Food to work to food. Okay. So I'm guessing this is going to teach me about
food
conversion.
To the apartments to generate work. Convey work to the logging site to generate wood.
Okay.
Convey food.
So that's, yeah, still just transport. Can I change the zoom at all? Okay. So, okay. Generate 10 wood. Right, I don't want to do that because I want to actually look at what these do. Costs 1 work, holds 10... What is this? Is this... Oh, costs 1 metal. Holds 10 work, and 100... recycling? Is it? Once out of wood cut down, it will become plain, so it converts work and... something into just... wood. Oh, so this is wood that it holds already, and then it converts. Okay. It does go very fast. Stacking tiles. Teach me.
Trails and a logging site to harvest wood. Speed up time with the buttons at the upper right.
Doot. Okay, and then a logging site. So what are we actually seeing here? This is the apartments, which are costing wood and plastic to build. And they hold 5 food, 100 garbage, I guess. Waste. Waste graph. Oh, okay. Work, energy, food. Okay, so I think this is what we're sort of looking at here. So work is... okay, so these export work and waste. It's going too fast for me to know what I'm doing. Oh boy.
Apartments generate waste and will eventually stop working.
Ooh, yeah, that's lag. Hello.
Apartments generate waste and will eventually stop working. Connect the apartments to the landfill to drain their waste.
Remove waste from all apartments. Toggle the red waste button above to see how much waste is in the city. Okay. So we'll just do boop. And let's see the waste graph so we can watch this change. what does this actually do? It does nothing, it just holds waste. Okay. Store resources.
Convey work to the plastics, metals, and stone digs to harvest their resources.
Okay.
Convey work to the plastic.
Seems straightforward enough, I suppose. I wonder what the purpose of these crossroads are. I mean, something is traveling along that road. And at least 5 of each. Metals. It's not actually going anywhere, is it? It's just kind of existing now. Plastics dig has become plains. Okay, so stuff stops existing when it runs out of resources, I guess. Ruins.
Build plastics and metals digs over ruins.
Okay, so digs. That converts work and metal to exported metal, and the same thing with plastic. Huh, okay. Alright, so those are a thing now, I guess. It's clever, I'll give him that. Dink. You know, I wonder if the real-time 20 minutes is affected by the speed of the game.
Use a stone dig to mine stone and break through the mountains. Use a stone dig to mine stone and break through the mountains.
So just
You
have that not exist, I guess. And then it wants stone dig, so we need plastics and metals to complete this one. I guess I'll place down the digs in advance. Oh, we have to have roads up there first. Oh, clever. Okay. Yeah, oh, yeah, that's actually really clever. Okay. There. Suppose that was not a great purchase, was it? Well, no, we do want it up here next to the farm so that it can still accumulate stuff. What is this? Water doesn't do anything. Okay. We can get energy out of the turbine, which we haven't gotten in the tutorials yet. Okay. Got it. Boop-a-doo. Z. So the plastics one seems to go really slowly. Insufficient work. So why is work piling up over there? Okay, energy.
High-rise high-rises generate 10 times as much work as apartments, but they require energy. Build water turbines on water to power them.
Okay. Get energy to both of your high rises. Okay. So we need water turbines. We need roads first. Okay. Roads can only go next to... Huh. You know what? I think I see the complexity here. So let's start with this. That should allow energy to travel across there. Yes. Okay. So this can now generate work. But I don't quite... Oh. What? Okay. Why did that work? Oh no, I don't know what I'm doing. This is great.
Use energy transmitters to convey energy over long distances.
Oh, they've got AoEs, I see. Okay. Parks and points.
Build parks to generate points over time.
Oh.
Build
Oh.
parks to
Oh. Costs stone, so we need to be mining stone. And we need wood in order to make stone digs. I see. I see where we're headed with this. Okay, so in that case... Alright. So we need to get those going, and then we can get these going. So we are producing work, however slowly. We just need stone, basically. So, alright, stone digs all the way along here. 10 points. I literally blinked and missed it. Okay. Alright, so that's everything that the game seems to think we need. Oh boy. Here we go. Perk. Half price perks, double speed, free roads, no waste production, start with extra plastic. Oh my gosh, I have no idea. Let's do free roads, sure. Okay, and the clock is already ticking. Alright, landfill. Whoa, no. Requires energy. Okay, do we have access to water? No, we don't. It is over here, but it'll be a while before we can get to that. So, just regular apartments it is. All right. It's been a minute already. Roads are free, so let's go whole hog on those. And then we'll get some digs going. We don't have energy yet, so we'll do this. Plastics. metals, I guess. Oh, I don't know what I'm doing. Let's see. Let's see, we really need a stone dig. Stone dig. Here, 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 and that'll let us get to the water, which will let us make high rises. Oh, crap. Okay, so that actually does increase the timer speed, not just the overall simulation speed. So that's good to know. Yes, that. Okay, what is this? What do these do? Landfill, water turbine. Oh, right, I haven't. Oh boy. Yeah, let's build some landfills. We need more wood. I'm not mining enough wood. I don't know why I said that I'm mining wood, but that kind of feels accurate to what's happening here. Lumber. Those two spots, I guess? Okay, and that landfill's doing fine, so I don't need to build another one of those. We do want to get roads out here so that we can start getting power. And now... bigger parks. Okay. Need a crap ton of stone for these big ones. We can at least get a couple of small ones going. Okay. I have no idea if this is a good strategy or not. Let's see, power. How do we do power? Actually, how actually do I do power? Water turbine, 100 wood. Okay, so I just need, like, lots of wood now. Lumber camp here. Roads are free, so I don't care. Let's see. Just some of this. I'd be pretty surprised if I'm producing enough labor to cover all of this, but it'll be fine. So we do have the ability to get power soon. We actually have enough wood, which we will have soon, I hope, I think. How are we doing on work? Plenty of work. Food, we have plenty of food. Do we have energy? Not yet. Waste is handled. Yes, these are all exporting work pretty much as fast as they can, and it's not making a dent in the resources, so we'll put down some more of these. Start getting through here a little bit more. And yeah, so those are still have plenty of wood to give us. Oh yes, I was going to put a road to here. And then we were going to put down one of these powered digs. What do we need more of? Stone, probably, huh? Is next to a human-made structure. Send help. Oh, just lost a bunch of the dig sites. So let's put down, okay, we can afford power now. Barely. Can we afford these towers? One wood, one plastic, one metal. So, kind of, not really. We'll still have energy. Okay. So now we can build fancy stone dig level 2 metal. Oh, I can't. Oh. Okay, well, that'll be fine. And now I can also build some high rises all along here. Because high rises produce way more work. 2 more plastics. I don't have a plastic stick left. Is there a skyscraper I can reach reasonably? Not super well, no. Okay, well, I guess we'll just be building all the way over here. Okay, and we will have a plastics dig right there. That doesn't need power. Power will do nothing for it. Okay, how are we doing on work? Do we have enough work to go around? Not really. Why? These need food and power. They are fed. Well, this one isn't. Okay, well, that's probably a problem with the roads, isn't it? That one's fed now. Let's put down another one here, another one here. Or these along here. Because these produce a lot of work. And then we can take that work, which we have a fair decent amount. Yeah. These all have power, which is good. That's fine. And we're already out of plastics again. Crap. Okay. Waste is currently acceptable. What is this? Efficiency? Oh, that's useful. Sufficient space. What does that mean? Okay, we can make medium parks. So let's. Oh boy. Stone dig level 2. Need these to be as efficient as we can manage. And we'll have a road coming over here. And do they have power? Yes. We need more road coming over here, and then we will have another pair of level 2 stone digs. Okay. All right, more roads. Wait, I'm an idiot. Hang on. Destroy the tile. Receive nothing in return, but that's okay. Crap, this plastics generation bit is kind of becoming a problem, and I don't know what to do about it. That can come up here, this one can go over here, and then we'll make more stone dig level 2s along there. Cool. We can also do the same down here. And also we can start logging here. bolster that up a little bit. Let's see. It seems like the strategy is just to build super far out as quickly as possible. So like you build road that runs along to there, and then you'd use a stone dig. Oh, I need the level 1 dig. And like break through that as quickly as you can, and then just immediately start mining that. Particularly with the free roads perk, it doesn't seem like there's any point to not handling it this way. Let's see. Bring around a road all the way over here. And start digging stone here. We'll also do the same thing up here to get to that farm, which will let us feed more people and therefore produce more work. These ones are just for good measure, basically. Since we already have the roads, there's no point in not, as I see it. We can afford magnificent parks. And then let's get logging all of this so that we have more wood available. And I think something like resources jump cross corners. Only kind of sometimes. I'm not really sure what the rules for that are. But really, we just need to get roads out to these, where we can start digging for plastics again. Which, bafflingly, you can't get a level 2 dig site there. I don't really get that. Okay, so we've got access to more food, we've got access to more plastic. How are we doing on work? We've got plenty of work going around. Oh my gosh, and this is depleting so quickly. Okay. Well, we gotta make sure to actually build these. Let's also make sure that we are digging all of the wood available. Alright. Logging sites. So that's those ones. Let's catch these as well. Let's see, is there anywhere else that I'm neglecting? I'm sure there is. Surprisingly no, but we can do some level 2 stone digs. There and there. They should just barely be within range, yeah. Level 1 digs out here. Doesn't need to be that efficient because we don't really need that much stone. We have quite a lot of it already, actually. 4 minutes left. All right. Let's see. What else am I missing? These can go. How are we doing on power? Enough power? There is enough power. Okay. Can we now make more of these magnificent parks? More wood. Efficiency. Pretty darn good, actually. Alright, let's get more road happening over here. Let's see, is there any other wood that we have ready access to without having to dig through a mountain again? No, not really. Okay, so in that case, let's start digging through a mountain. And we'll also want to dig through down here. And then this is going to be a beast, I'm sure. Stone dig. Here, and here. Also down here, and here, and here, and here. That should let us in down there eventually. 2 minutes left. We should be logging here, and anywhere else. No, I don't think so. Farmland has become plains. Oh dear. I didn't realize that could happen. Food. Oh, it runs out of food and then it disappears. Oh gosh, yeah, this is about to leave as well. How are we doing on work? Do we have enough work to go around? No. Maybe. Yes? Perhaps? No, not quite. But almost. Okay, road here, and here, and then we will dig, oops, that and that, and we will break through and get plastics going there as well. Oh no! Oh no, it needs more stone. Alright, I'll just build what I have time for. This time limit mechanic is really interesting. I'm not sure whether I like it or not, because it's... I don't know, it's not quite the flavor that I'm accustomed to thinking that, to believing that I enjoy. So it's kind of like, I don't know if I like this because this isn't what I usually expect to like. But it is very good. $82,599 points. Seems modest on account of it was my first play, but not bad. It's a good game. I think I like this game. Okay, so I am going to put the stream on hold one more time and see if I can get Crescent Bay to cooperate. Should take about 5 minutes to find out. If that fails, I'll either try Ollie and Bolly, Thorn, or just pop 20-minute Metropolis open again and play another 2 rounds. Either way, I'll be back in about 2 to 3 minutes, and we'll find out what we're doing.